Now it's time for me to demonstrate how to apply the 3 elements of the telehealth assessment criteria to Mel and Rex. Let's start with Mel. Mel is a 22-year-old TAFE student of Vietnamese background. She recently moved into a share house with 2 of her friends. Mel's parents were unhappy with her decision to move out. They have extremely high expectations of her, and Mel is struggling to cope with the pressure. Recently, Mel has been feeling increasing paranoia and depression. She is very reluctant to leave the house, feels she is being watched, and is smoking marijuana to help take the edge off things. Mel's family are unaware of her current struggles with her mental health. Mel has a high use of social media, internet and email, and has indicated online and social media channels as her preference for receiving information and support. Therefore, we assess Mel as having a high level of access and availability to technology. While Mel's age and current use of technology suggests she is a strong candidate for telehealth, we still need to understand if Mel actually would want to receive telehealth services. We also need to consider that she's had no previous contact with the mental health system. Given a choice, Mel might initially want to meet face-to-face with service providers to help build rapport and trust. Telehealth could assist with alleviating some of her anxiety with getting help for the first time. Mel is currently experiencing high levels of paranoia, so accessing online supports may be helpful until she builds her confidence to leave the house. On the other hand, Mel's paranoia could deter her using telehealth if she is worried about being watched or listened to online. Mel lives in shared accommodation, so her privacy needs need to be taken into consideration. Is there a comfortable and private space in the home where Mel can receive telehealth support? Is there a regular time when her housemates are not home and she could schedule appointments? Keep in mind that Mel's desire to participate and social circumstances could change along the course of her journey. Now we have used the criteria to better understand Mel's overall suitability for telehealth and determine that she is a candidate, we can start to look at where and when it could be useful to introduce telehealth in Mel's journey. Some of the pain points and frustrations that led to the moments that matter in Mel's journey included the constant change in staff involved in their care, having to repeat her story multiple times, and being put on service waitlists when she was ready to get some help. With this in mind, we can start to look at her journey and consider whether introducing a new model of service such as telehealth could help to alleviate some of these moments that matter. Mel's journey into the mental health system begins with her having contact with the local mental health triage service after an initial phone call to Beyond Blue. Mel then goes on to have contact with the crisis assessment and treatment team, a hospital admission into a psychiatric unit, case management from the Child Youth Mental Health Service, and referrals to several mental health programs, including Headspace and those through the Stepped Model of Care service. Mel was given the phone number for Beyond Blue. Given Mel has a low preference for using the phone, it would have also been worthwhile here providing her with the online and email counselling options that Beyond Blue offer. Mel is slipping into a crisis and is referred to the crisis assessment and treatment team by triage. She's experiencing high levels of anxiety about the cat coming to her home. How many people will visit? Will the car they arrive in have a logo? Will they report it to the cops for using marijuana? While triage explained to Mel about what the CAT team is, a short online information video about CAT sent by text message to Mel could help reduce her concerns here. Mel is admitted to a psychiatric unit. She talks to a whole range of clinical staff, having to tell her story multiple times. Mel is frustrated that no one seems to understand that she does not want her family to know about her admission. A video conference that connects staff who are involved in Mel's care but may not be located on the ward at the same time could be introduced here. These conferences may or may not involve Mel depending on her level of comfort. Some of the benefits of these video conferences could include real-time and concurrent information sharing between Mel and a range of clinicians. This means that information is not lost between clinicians and Mel does not have to repeat her story multiple times. increased collaboration between a range of service providers, including dual diagnosis clinicians, peer support workers, those who can provide input and expertise into her care remotely. Shared decision-making processes which result in Mel feeling she has more control in her care. After a discharge, Mel is referred to case management. A short video about the Child Youth Mental Health Service could be beneficial here. Once again, this could be sent via text message to Mel or shown to her by a member of CAT during a visit. One of the major moments that matter for Mel in her journey is when her case manager refers her to a service and she is informed there is a wait list. While the case manager gives Mel other options, Mel is feeling overwhelmed and disengages with her case manager. We can see here that the current system of phone screening for eligibility results in several issues at this touch point. Mel does not respond to phone calls as she thinks they are cold calls. Mel finds giving personal information over the phone as intrusive. Remember, phone is not Mel's preferred method of communication. Mel forgets a referral has been made and is not expecting or receptive when contact is made. To address this issue, services could work together to design service eligibility screening as a live video conference session. Here, Mel meets with her case manager from the Child Youth Mental Health Service, and together they connect to services such as Headspace or Stepped Care via a live video conference to undertake eligibility screening. This would allow Mel to have assistance through these unfamiliar processes with the support from her case manager, whom she knows and trusts. Now, let's turn our attention to Rex and see how we might apply the same assessment criteria. Rex is a 48-year-old man who has an extensive history of mental illness. He is on a disability support pension and lives in a supported residential service. His use of alcohol and chronic smoking mean he often has little money left for anything else. His drinking has made his current housing situation extremely tenuous. Rex tends to source information and support by speaking directly to service providers and friends. His technology usage is low, but it is unclear whether this is due to a lack of availability and access to technology. He prioritises buying cigarettes over other needs, so the upfront cost of a device, including ongoing costs, could be a problem for Rex. We assessed him as having low suitability from a technology readiness perspective. Rex's current technology usage is based on a lack of desire to use online resources. Rex is passive, lacks assertiveness, and requires hand-holding support to access services. He talks about his desire to get out of the SRS more and most likely would value the opportunity to access the community for his support needs. It is likely that his desire to participate in telehealth would be low and that his needs would be better met through traditional face-to-face support. The final step is to assess Rex's social circumstances. As Rex lives in an SRS, it's unlikely that he would have the space or privacy to participate in telehealth. So again, for Rex, this criteria fell below the expectations of where telehealth would be suitable. We have assessed Rex as having low suitability to receive direct telehealth support. However, Rex experienced a number of frustrations during his journey that was similar to Mel's. So let's take a look at Rex's journey now and see if and where telehealth could be used to make the moments that matter in Rex's journey a little easier. Rex's journey starts after his discharge from a psychiatric hospital, where during his stay he had a change of medication. Rex requires support with connecting with the community and accessing the NDIS. He has been in the system for many years, but the introduction to the NDIS has meant there have been significant changes to the old ways of accessing and receiving support. This has caused Rex confusion and frustration. Rex is given a lot of forms and written information about the NDIS throughout his journey. Providing Rex with access to short, online information videos about services, particularly those offered by the NDIS, could be more useful for Rex here. Rex could watch these videos during an appointment with one of his support workers. There are several service providers involved in Rex's care. Telehealth could assist with communication and coordination between these services. Live video conferencing could be used to connect the NDIS, mental health clinicians and other providers involved in Rex's care for regular case conferences and even educational sessions. These sessions may or may not include Rex, depending on their purpose. NDIS planning and review sessions could also be conducted where Rex meets at a support worker's office to then connect with NDIA staff for a video conference.